honest, because I promise I'll be honest.
He used to be so racist, but he was black himself. I don't understand that.
But yeah, that's how I got into 3 medical schools out of 4.
I was gonna be so rude, but it's cool.
Scriptures regarding anger. Hi guys, welcome to Natasha's Narrative. If you've been on this channel before, welcome back. Obviously, I have not been creating content, and yeah, it's been a long time, I feel like, since I have actually made consistent content. Like, I feel like the whole of 2021, I basically didn't make any consistent content. And I was gonna launch right back and just like, you know, start talking about med school, do my relationship, yada yada yada, my faith talks and things like that. But I just felt like it didn't make sense to do that without kind of like explaining a little bit about why I basically like ghosted. I also spent like a lot of time not making any Instagram content as well. So I think, yeah, I would say that overall it definitely has to do with burnout, which is something that I've struggled with in the past. It's something that I continue to struggle with because I just have a problem with saying no to things. But I would say like it definitely started in 2020 from when lockdown started. I know that like not just me, but a lot of people have obviously struggled with lockdown. And essentially when we went into lockdown, I was working as a carer. So I think I've talked a little bit about how I did care kind of jobs before. Essentially I was doing that. I was also starting my work as a tutor at the time. I also, when my auntie contracted COVID, I was also covering some of her shifts because she did like some independent work. And I would, if she couldn't do that shift, even like when she got better, like I was also covering that in addition, because my mom is a nurse. Because both of my sisters were home at the time, my little sister was working doing schoolwork from home, which meant that like when I wasn't doing my jobs, I would come and homeschool her, come home and homeschool her, as well as like doing like a lot of chores in the house. And I'm kind of that type of person where when I start doing a lot of things, and obviously like filming and things, but I always found filming fun. But when I start doing a lot of things, like I can kind of cope, and I was coping, you know, just juggling everything. And essentially when things started to slow down, it's like my body kind of was like, wow, you've actually been very, very stressed. Like sometimes it takes me like a long time to realize that I'm overwhelmed. Like I have to kind of slow down before I realize like this is too much. And yeah, that's basically what happened. So obviously things got better. My sister started going back to school, so that kind of helped reduce the stress. And I just wasn't really working as many shifts anymore, especially as I started to get ready to start med school. And obviously September comes, I'm going into med school, and I'm like excited. But then around that same time, I think that's when we had, people are going to have to correct me because I feel like everything's become a blur. Like I think around September is when we had like the second like 1 month like lockdown period. So obviously in September 2020, like there still wasn't like a lot of information known, like vaccines hadn't been like developed yet. So I knew that like my first year of uni wasn't going to be normal. I kind of accepted that it wasn't going to be normal, and I thought I was going to be fine with it because I've always been like really independent and like not that I don't love my friends. I do love my friends and hang out with my family, but like I'm very happy to kind of like chill by myself. So I thought that I would be fine. But I think with like not being able to like talk to people like you normally do, hang out with people the way that you normally do, and like your life literally just becoming like med school. Like I said before, I had started continued anyway tutoring, and by this time I was like working more tutoring hours. I wasn't really doing care as much. I was just did it during like the holiday time, and just, you know, everyone being at home constantly. I just became really, really overwhelming and just difficult. It just felt like every day was the same. Everything was becoming blurred, especially like during that like third lockdown period of like December to I think it was like March. That 3 month stretch I found was the worst lockdown for me. Just very, very hard to kind of like stay motivated. Eating habits got bad. I put on so much weight during like 2021 just from like bad eating habits, not working out. Spiritual life was definitely affected. I just found it really hard to like read my Bible, and to like connect with my church because I moved church during lockdown. So we had like, even though we had like Bible study groups online, I hadn't really met that many people in my church. So I found it hard to kind of like stay connected there. And for me, what I've realized is like when my spiritual life is off, like everything else just like, it just kind of all crumbles. So I think 2021 was like definitely difficult. And I know I've shared like some things on this platform about my thoughts towards like racism, George Floyd in particular, and everything that went on during that time, and like just harassment that I was just experiencing, like some of my story times that I've spoken about. And I just feel like everything like finally kind of just hit me last year, and I was very overwhelmed, and I just couldn't get into a routine anymore. And then I just didn't really like want to film anymore, or when I thought about filming I was just like, I don't really know what to say. So I just kind of like stopped. And same with Instagram, like I loved like creating posts that were informative and helpful, but I just felt like I couldn't do that anymore. I didn't have like the capacity to think of any of what I wanted to do. So I just kind of like shut off, which was sad because like I feel like filming was like a very good outlet for me, and like creating this page, I've really, really enjoyed it. Yeah, and I feel like just in 2021, like I had a lot of difficult situations that I had to kind of like sort through, things that I thought I was over that I wasn't, and just new things that were creeping up that weren't great. So that's essentially why I just haven't been filming, haven't been doing anything. And every time and the thing is like the intent to film is always there, and that's why when I post on my Instagram and I'm like, oh guys, like I've made enough, like what do you want me to film about, or guys, what do you want me to see? It's like I want to do it, it's just like I just couldn't get it done. Like I was just so mentally exhausted from everything. Then this year, so obviously now we're in February, and I thought like, you know, January's coming, like I'm gonna start filming again. Like what have I done? I've fallen into the trap of like just doing too much. So I'm hoping that by the time I start like releasing these videos and like coming back with my amazing content, that I will have, some things will have fallen off, some things will have been completed, but it's a learning curve. Like honestly, it's not selfish to say no. It's not selfish to take time out from people and try and work on yourself. And I feel like that's a problem that I really have, is I want to say yes to everything, whether that's like, you know, something fun to do, or it's, you know, helping people. And I am very self-critical. and I try to like hold or do things to a certain standard, and you can't commit 100% to everything. And I feel like that's why I've been really doing a bad job, and that's why things have been falling to the wayside, because it's overcommitment. Yeah, so essentially I'm trying to work on that. I'm actually really proud that I've managed to even film anything today. I did not expect to make any footage, to be honest, until May, June time when I was done with exams. So if I manage to get that out before then as well, I will be very proud of myself. So yeah, I know this isn't really like an exciting video or like fun particularly, but I just felt like I should give an explanation as to why I ghosted, and I just haven't been, yeah, making content at all with like YouTube, and why just my Instagram has just been like very crazy in terms of like not posting consistently. But yeah, I do miss it. I definitely will be coming back. I'm probably going to try and bang out another episode today, as per usual, wearing the same clothes. I really don't know how people have the time like to actually change clothes for each video if they're like filming in the same day. I just don't have the energy to do that. But yeah, I hope that you guys kind of like I guess not enjoyed it, but understand where I'm coming from. And I hope that these next videos that I have coming up will be informative and helpful. And I just want to thank everyone who like watched my videos like whilst I've kind of been off the grid. I really do appreciate it, and like everyone who's like been liking, you know, my Instagram posts, and have told me that they find, you know, my information really helpful. I really do appreciate it. So yeah, thank you to everyone. I feel like I don't know how to end videos anymore. I've just become so socially awkward. But yeah, bye guys. I'll see. I still say I'll see you. I don't know why I'd say that. You'll see me in another video. Hopefully, I'll try and do that a week after. Well, post that a week after this one. Bye.